My father was a fisherman, quiet man, strong hands, bad back, never complained. He would go out on that water before the sun came up and come home smelling like salt and sweat. And people in the neighborhood, they respected him, not because he had money, he didn't have money, but because he was steady. He was there every single day that man showed up. I remember sitting on the step watching him walk up the road in the evening, tired, always tired. But he'd see me sitting there and he'd smile. At every time, didn't matter how hard the day was, he'd ruffle my head and say, anything good happened today? And I'd tell him some nonsense about a lizard I caught or a goal I scored in the street. And he'd listen like it was the most important thing in the world. But me, I was young and I was foolish, and I looked at my father's life and I thought, I want more. I don't want to smell like fish. I don't want to come home tired every night with nothing to show for it. I want to build something. And I want people to look at me and say, that Winston, he made something of himself. So that's what I did. I became a carpenter, learned the trade from my uncle Rupert, a furniture maker in Kingston. That man could make a chair out of nothing and it would last 100 years. He used to say, a man who builds with his hands, builds with his soul. I didn't understand that then. I just wanted to build fast, build more, build bigger. And I worked. Lord, I worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And hands bleeding, back aching, didn't matter. I was building houses, churches, schools. Every nail I hammered was proof that I was becoming somebody. By the time I was 40, I had built this house with my own 2 hands. I had a wife who loved me, 3 beautiful children, a truck, money in my pocket. Everything I told myself I wanted when I was that skinny boy in Trenchtown, watching his father come home from the sea. And you know what I felt? I felt tired and confused. Because the feeling I was waiting for, that feeling of I made it, I'm enough now, it never arrived. I kept thinking it was around the next corner. One more house to build, one more job to finish, one more year of saving. Then I'll feel it. Then I can rest. But the corner kept moving. Every time I got there was another corner, and another one, and another one. Now here's the part I'm not proud of. While I was out there chasing, I was missing everything. And my son Michael took his first steps, and I wasn't there. I was on a job site in Montego Bay. My daughter Sharon had a school play. She was the lead, you know, and I missed it. I was pouring concrete somewhere. My youngest, Junior, used to draw me pictures and leave them on my pillow. Little stick figures of me and him holding hands. I'd find them at midnight when I finally crawled into bed. That boy was reaching for me, and I was never there to reach back. My wife Marcia would cook dinner and sit there waiting for me, and I'd come home at 9 o'clock and eat it cold and fall asleep in the chair. She'd cover me with a blanket every night, never said a word, just covered me up and went to bed alone. And one evening, I remember this like it was yesterday. Marcia sat me down on this very porch, and she didn't yell. She never yelled. She just looked at me with those eyes, and she said, Winston, the children don't need a bigger house. They need their father. I don't need new curtains. I need my husband. You're building everything except what matters. And I nodded, and I said, yes, you're right. And the next morning, I went right back to work and did the same thing all over again. Because I didn't understand. Not yet. It took me another 10 years to understand what Marcia was really saying. 10 years. I'm a slow learner, but I got there eventually. Here's what I finally figured out. And this is the thing I want you to hear. So I wasn't chasing money, not really. I wasn't chasing respect, not really. What I was chasing was a feeling. I wanted to feel like I was worth something, like I mattered, like that skinny boy from Trenchtown had become someone his father would be proud of. And I thought, if I just built enough, worked hard enough, sacrificed enough, that feeling would come. But that feeling doesn't come from a house. It doesn't come from a bank account. But it doesn't come from people calling you sir or driving past your old neighborhood in a nice truck. That feeling was mine the whole time. I just didn't know how to let myself have it. My father, that quiet fisherman who I thought had nothing, he had it. He had it every evening when he walked up that road and saw me on the step. He had it every morning when he went out on that water and did his work with dignity. He wasn't chasing anything. He was already there. And I was so busy trying to be more than him that I couldn't see he already had the thing I was running after. Now I have a friend named Neville, known him 40 years. And Neville, God bless him, he's 81 years old and he's still chasing, still comparing, still looking over the fence at what everybody else has. Last week he came by here, sat in that chair, right there, and complained for 2 hours straight. His pension isn't enough. His knees are bad. His children don't visit enough. On the government this, the weather that. I love Neville, but Neville is going to die unhappy. And it's not because life was cruel to him. It's because he's still waiting for something outside of himself to make him feel okay on the inside. And that's a wait that never ends. But then I think about my friend Desmond. Desmond had a fruit stand on the corner in Trenchtown. Never owned a car, never traveled anywhere, never had more than a few dollars in his pocket. And that man was the most peaceful person I ever knew. He woke up grateful. He went to sleep grateful. Every person who came to his stand got a smile and a conversation. He wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. I once asked him, Desmond, how come you're always so content? And he looked at me like I'd asked a stupid question. He said, Winston, I have mangoes. I have sunshine. I have people who say my name. What else is there? What else is there? That's the whole thing right there. Now that's what took me 60 years to learn. And Desmond knew it from the start. The thing you're chasing, the money, the promotion, the house, the body, the respect, those things aren't bad. I'm not telling you not to work. Work is good. I built this house and I'm proud of it. But if you think those things are going to fill the empty space inside you, they won't. That empty space isn't shaped like a house or a job title or a bank balance. That empty space is shaped like peace. And peace doesn't come from getting more. Peace comes from needing less. After Marcia passed 8 years ago now, I sat on this porch for a long time. Just sat here, weeks, months. The house was quiet in a way it had never been quiet before. Her chair was empty. Her coffee cup was still in the cupboard. And in that silence, in that stillness, I finally felt the thing I'd been chasing my whole life. Not because I finally achieved enough, but because I finally stopped running long enough to notice that it was already here. It was in the coffee in my hand, in the sunrise over those mountains, in the sound of my grandchild calling me Papa Win, in the way the breeze comes through these hills in the morning. It was here the whole time. All those years I was out there running, and it was right here, waiting for me, patient as a mango tree. So if you're watching this, and you're grinding yourself into dust, working 70 hours a week, missing your children grow up, telling yourself, just a little more, and then I'll be happy. I need you to hear me. You're enough, right now, today, not when you get the promotion, not when you pay off the debt, not when you lose the weight. Now, you're enough exactly as you are. The only thing you need to do is stop running long enough to believe it. My coffee is getting cold, and my granddaughter Jade is coming by this afternoon, so I need to sweep this porch before she gets here, because that child notices everything. But before I go, tell me something. What are you chasing? And what would happen if you just stop? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your story. And if this found you at the right time, pass it along to somebody who's running themselves ragged. Maybe it'll find them at the right time too. Walk good, my friend.